It's Anya here at Our Game of Home, where I like to share tips for a simple, beautiful, healthy, and sustainable living. In today's video, I'd like to share with you a very easy recipe for baked apples. Whether you serve them for breakfast with a little bit of vanilla yogurt on top, or as a snack in the afternoon with vanilla sauce, or as a beautiful winter dessert, it's always easy to make, it's really yummy, and let me show you how I make it. So before we get started with the baked apples, it's a good idea to preheat your oven to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then let's look at what we need. We need apples, and I have roasted chopped almonds. I have some cinnamon. I have raisins, and I have butter. I will link the exact recipes in the description box below, but the ingredients are really flexible for this recipe, so you don't need to be super exact. You probably need about a good tablespoon of butter, maybe 2 tablespoons of raisins, maybe half a tablespoon of cinnamon, and about 2 full tablespoons of chopped almonds. Now the apples need to be filled, and we need to cut out the inner part of the apple. If you have an apple core, that would work as well, and I'm just going to use a very sharp knife, so you want to be careful when you do that. And what I like to do is cut out the apple so that the opening is wider at the top than at the bottom, simply for the reason that the filling doesn't necessarily fall out at the bottom. And you want to make sure that you cut out all the seeds in there. They're chewy, they're not that pleasant to eat. And what kind of apples do we need for baked apples? I prefer a firm, tart apple, whatever variety you can find in your area. Often heirloom varieties are really good for baked apples. And since I did with this coring with a knife, it's not very pretty necessarily, but here's what it looks like on the inside. And if you see a little bit of the blossom pieces down here, you can just simply trim those off. Here's your cored apple with a good opening for your filling. And then we'll just repeat that with the remaining apples. Now we'll go ahead and mix up the filling. So what I like to do is start with the raisins and pour in the chopped almonds. Add my cinnamon. And mix that all up. Now you simply fill the filling into the apples, and it's okay if something falls out at the bottom. You just pick it up, and eventually you'll transfer the apples with the filling into any oven-proof pan or casserole. pressing it down to see if I can get some more filling in here because I have some left. Don't worry if you have some filling left over. And here's my oven-proof pan. I will set the apples in here. And I will finally add a good dollop of butter on top. The butter will melt. We have a saying in my family that butter makes it better, so no need to skimp on the butter. Add just a little bit more, just because it tastes so good. And now your apples are ready for baking. We will put them in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 to 45 minutes. You can see how the baked apples are done, beautiful. They have opened a little bit here on the top, which is one sign of doneness. You can also use a toothpick or wooden thing and poke in there to just see if they're kind of soft on the inside. And one of my favorite ways of serving them is to gently open them up a little bit more. These are beautifully done. And pouring some hot vanilla sauce right over. Instead of vanilla sauce, these baked apples would be great with either vanilla yogurt or vanilla ice cream. And here's your baked apple. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. I upload new content every week. You can also go to my blog at ourgabledhome.com where I have more tips and recipes. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.